Hello, I'm Kate Wagner.
And I am Thysa Beekman.
Welcome to USyd News. The top stories this hour. Amid concerns that alcohol-related violence in the Newtown area is on the increase, several venues are trialling a 3 a.m. lockout system proposed by the Newtown Liquor Accord after consultation with Newtown residents, council business and police. Katie Baker reports.
Several venues in Newtown will be trialling a 3 a.m. lockout system as proposed by the Newtown Liquor Accord. Newtown's voluntary trial comes amidst concerns that violence is escalating in bars and surrounding local area.
We're doing it to show that we're being proactive and that we are working with police and the community to stop alcohol-fueled violence. There's more people on the street, the queues are bigger, and more people are getting disappointed and upset out the front of venues.
State-imposed lockout laws began in the CBD in February last year, following highly publicised incidents of unprovoked violence, including the fatal King hit against Thomas Kelly. This assault occurred at 9 p.m.
Idiots will be idiots and they'll still punch someone at 3 o'clock or at 10:30 or at 12 o'clock in the day.
The decision to trial voluntary lockouts came after a roundtable meeting held by the Newtown Neighbourhood Centre.
We invited local residents to the meeting, and we also had representatives from Marrickville and City of Sydney councils. Maybe in the short term, yeah, it will have an impact on businesses, but I would like to think that for the long term it will help retain that uniqueness and keep Newtown a vibrant place.
The trial will be enforced on Friday and Saturday nights as of September, and it will last for 6 months. Katie Baker, Sydney University News.
With the federal government about to decide if the GST should continue to be charged on sanitary products, a dance rally was held today in Martin Place as part of an ongoing campaign against the charge. Protesters called on state and federal governments to remove the so-called tampon tax. More from Crystal Collins.
With the fate of the tampon tax about to be determined, protesters put forward their last move today by holding dance rallies across the nation. The person behind the rally is Subita Fimalaraja, a Sydney University student who started a petition calling for the goods and services tax to be removed from sanitary products. The campaign has sparked national interest and attracted a significant number of supporters. The dance rally that took place in Sydney today hoped to influence New South Wales Treasurer Gladys Berejiklian's stance on the tax. Treasurers from across the country will be meeting with Joe Hockey on the 21st of August to vote on removing GST from sanitary products. If just one state votes to keep the tax, it will stay. The New South Wales Government, along with Western Australia and Tasmania, haven't offered conclusive support to remove the tax. The tampon tax currently raises $25 million a year for the government, but Ms Fimalaraja argues that that money is unfairly taken.
It's an unfair tax on half the population for a bodily function they can't control.
Supporters of removing the tax question why items such as lubricant, nicotine patches and barbecue sauce are exempt from GST, yet women's sanitary products continue to be taxed.
Having a GST on sanitary products is sending a message that these things aren't necessary, and they are.
It's such an obvious discrimination, and it's something that's so easy to change that it's like, why hasn't it been done already?
Crystal Coelho, Sydney University News.
Indigenous elders and supporters gathered outside the New South Wales Supreme Court today to hear the fate of the Redfern Tent Embassy after relations broke down between the embassy and the Aboriginal Housing Company. Liam Carrigan reports.
Today, elders and supporters of the Redfern Aboriginal Tent Embassy returned to the Supreme Court to receive directions following their loss on Monday. However, it was announced this morning that a deal has been reached between the Aboriginal Housing Company and the Embassy that will see Indigenous public housing built alongside the proposed commercial redevelopment of the block.
It was never in their planning to house our people first, and I think we've reversed that and shown that that's the right and proper way to proceed.
After receiving the directions, supporters and mob converged at the Embassy to celebrate their gains.
Given this is a hostile Liberal government, getting $5 million out of them is a miracle of major proportions in itself.
Haven't had the rights to practice culture for so long, and the little bit of land that we have left is now taken away from us as well, and we're expected to say thank you for that little time that we had. I don't think so. That's a bit of a joke to me.
White people, our history is one of colonising this place violently, and like everything we have here is built through, oppression.
I'm an Aboriginal woman. I was born black. I was taught black, so I'll always be black, and black law is our law.
The victory of the Embassy in securing Indigenous public housing in the upcoming redevelopment of the block represents a significant achievement in the ongoing struggle for land rights and recognition the Indigenous community is currently fighting for. I'm Liam Carrigan for Sydney University News.
And in sports news, often called murder ball, wheelchair rugby is gaining in popularity for both players and spectators. Fierce for Rugby at Sydney's Olympic Park saw 6 teams from Australia and New Zealand compete to win in the Australasia Challenge.
The 2015 Fierce for Rugby Wheelchair Championships are being held at the Sports Centre in Sydney's Olympic Park from August 19th to 21st. The 3-day event is celebrating its 25th anniversary with 6 teams competing from all over Australia and New Zealand.
Wheelchair rugby is it's the only quad team sport, so by that it's athletes have impairment in 4 limbs.
The sport is known for its rough nature, often being referred to as murder ball by players and fans.
They get pretty physical and pretty intense, and there's no holding back, and some of the crashes and bashes and things like that, it's intense. It's amazing to see.
I started off playing wheelchair basketball through a friend. And then when I was training, I saw the boys hitting around on the other court and thought that looked like fun, a bit more intense and the aggression and stuff. So yeah, I had a little go and really just fell in love with it. I play for the West Coast Enforcers from WA. It's just men and me, so yeah, it is a mixed sport, but at the minute I'm the only girl.
Despite its competitive nature, the championships draw together a range of fans, helping to further break down the stereotypes and misconceptions surrounding the community. Janelle Glover, USyd News.
Janelle Glover there. And finally, residents of the Campbelltown area once again turn out to celebrate this year's Riverfest, a day of food, games and music, bringing together the area's diverse community. Natalie Crystal joined in the fun.
Many Sydney suburbs foster a sense of community during annual festivals, and Campbelltown is no different.
Campbelltown hosts Riverfest every year for its residents to come together around food, games and music to celebrate its community, diversity and sustainable future.
What began as an environmental festival, however, is now a unique gathering where learning about each other's backgrounds and celebrating multiculturalism is paramount.
There are 93 different cultures in Campbelltown. It is important that we integrate. I have a Maltese background, so I understand the importance of people getting together, understanding each other, but living in peace with each other.
Seeing people come together to celebrate our cultures and everything as a city, I reckon is really fantastic.
The reason why we're here today is pretty much to promote our Kurdish culture, because not many people know about Kurdish people here.
We hope to have more people learn about the migrants and refugees that come to the area. There is a big community of migrants and refugees in MacArthur, especially in Campbelltown, and we also try to advocate and tell people about the strength of those people who come here. They are fleeing war and persecution. This is what we want people to know, is that refugees who come here, they want to contribute, they want to be part of this community.
Natasha Chrysanthos, Sydney University News.
That's all for now.
There will be more news next hour.